Should be good. Yeah, cool. Alright. Let me see where the fuck Dork and JFresh are. Let everyone filter in for a minute. What we got? Stuff. And some surprises. Should be cool. No, topless Gherk is not the surprise. Sorry. What's up, Chiz? Oh, there's Dork. Hey, what's up? At least one of us shows up to work. Where the fuck is JFresh? It's been the same goddamn time for 14 weeks. Yeah. No, it was we did 9 last time because everyone wanted to do it early. It's 6:30 p.m. where you are right now. If you live in a fucking geriatric home. I eat dinner at like midnight. You're fucking younger than me.
It's 6:30 a.m. and you think I'm gonna be fucking jerry jacking around and dilly dallying and giving you the business and all those other terms, all the skullduggery and chicanery that comes with it.
I feel like I haven't gotten the business in months.
I haven't given you the business in months. It's been a while. Things have been kind of just going smoothly. It's been nice.
I know, we need to disrupt things. I need more chaos. I don't like it. It's
You
fucking.
just
We
need to
need to,
demand
like.
so much of me that I crack.
We could, like, fire someone or some shit. But there's no one left to fire. Like, I like the people that we have.
Yeah, I know we have to bring someone on and then just fire him.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a great idea.
Ooh,
Hey,
Cobra.
who wants to.
Cobra.
Yeah,
Cobra.
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 Hey, you want to know what you bailing on Pigeon Whale every month feels like? Quit your job and come work for us.
No, Windmill, we're gonna try to make it so that you don't even really you don't even make it past the interview, but we're pretty much in the interview thinking, yeah, he's totally the guy, and then right when the interview completes, we're like, yeah, totally, man. Then the next day, we're like, nah.
Sounds like every interview in California.
Or they take you through like 3 weeks
what's
of
with the
technical interviews and
California
then say no.
job market? Well, yeah, I have a question. What's with the California job market? And you go to an interview and they're like, "Oh, we weren't like filling this position. We just like we were just taking like applications."
Dude, they'll do things where they take you and like they make you travel in and do like these fucking technical interviews and shit, and you go through like 4 rounds of technical interviews and all this shit, and then they just say, "Nah, you're not a right fit."
I remember the last time I tried to get a job out there, I interviewed at like 4 firms, and all of them were like, "Well, we're hiring, but not now."
We're not hiring. We're just hiring. You know?
I fucking hate California so much.
Dude, like, I remember back in the day, man, when I got my job at Guitar Center, it was a cattle call interview, and I showed up like 10 minutes early, and I sat down and we talked about microphones for like 5 minutes, and then he asked me like a couple basic questions, and he was like, "Well, you got the job." What happened to those days?
I mean, I don't know. I think the bar might have just gotten higher for the job that you wanted.
Maybe yeah, maybe the job I want has higher standards or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
I found myself punching
I'm
up
pretty sure
against
you
all the
could have
time.
gone there and talked to that guy about anything, and he would have hired you.
Right, he pretty much did just check my pulse and make sure
Yeah,
I was a
it's like, oh,
qualified
you're
enough
like
fit.
17 and you're willing to take how little an hour? Get in here.
I was 19,
Oh,
okay, and I
okay.
was willing to take minimum wage. The thing was they had a commission structure that I liked at first, where it was like, okay, you make this much gross revenue, and you take home some commission, right? And then like 3 months in, I like they changed the whole structure, so you had to make like a certain amount of gross profit, and so like I couldn't sell the good shit anymore. I had to sell the cheap Chinese shit to try to maximize my profit margin. And I just was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I kept doing what I did, and then I ended up never making commission, and so I just made dog shit wages.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what they wanted too, and I was
Yep.
pissed. My favorite dinosaur is the alligator. Me too. It's still alive, okay?
Are alligators dinosaurs? I think they're in fact reptiles because they're cold blooded. Other dinosaurs that are
You know
alive,
dinosaurs that are cold
chickens.
blooded? Yeah, those are. Oh wait, those are birds. Are
Those are
birds warm
dinosaurs.
blooded?
Yeah, they are.
Alligators have been around the whole time. Maybe I could say the ant.
The ant's not a dinosaur either.
No, but it was a prehistoric animal.
So is
It outlasted
the
all those bitches.
millipede, dragonfly.
Didn't have to become the ultimate human simp like the chicken.
Has anybody raised their fucking hand yet? Oh wait, no, we have stuff to announce. Without JFresh, I suppose. Hold on, let me
Cover
try
has some
tagging
YouTube
him.
issues. This is our boss, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome. I'm the coolest boss ever.
You know, we'll find out when I want to take vacation days and I'm actually on the payroll.
You like when you actually get paid.
Right, you're gonna be like, all right, yeah, you can take that vacation. That's just 1/52nd of your salary gone. I'll be like, fuck.
That seems reasonable. No, we're all gonna have a
It does.
vacation. Except me. Like I'm just gonna keep doing what I do every day. But you guys can all like go on vacation together.
Wait, no, we all have to go on the same vacation. That's the rule.
Gross.
Because I know you're gonna spring for the nice shit for yourself.
You know me too well.
So yeah, no, you gotta come with me, Jake, all
I
right?
was just gonna get you guys a trailer outside of Burning Man.
I know, but now you're coming, so you're gonna get us way nicer trailers outside of Burning Man.
No, we're just not going to Burning Man.
God damn it! I almost had you.
Hire me, you son
Cobra,
of a bitch.
you want a job, Cobra? All right, you're hired. All right, Cobra, it's not working out, man. I'm sorry, but you gotta go.
Yep,
There you go.
straight from the COO.
I'm in charge of operations.
Everything we've bought
Operating.
is a tax deduction, and we don't have any expenses. We buy data, and then we do calculations, and then we sell the data.
Yeah. Our balance sheet looks extremely simple right now, Cobra, and we're not just going to give you free money.
He wants to do it for free membership.
What?
Yeah. Free
free.
GS data. And he's already got beta, so he's already got like the only discount we're ever giving anybody.
We ran the numbers, and that's basically free.
Yeah, actually.
Like you're literally just paying, like you're pretty much paying like what, like dealer costs for the data. Fucking douche.
I think it's like actually, well, over time it's going to become a loss leader. But we already factored that in.
The beta already almost is.
No, it's not. Well, okay.
We're getting there.
All right.
Especially with the new shit we're working on and Nuke juicing all the machines.
What, you didn't like our cloud costs going up by 15x?
I honestly didn't care.
Oh, okay.
Because I know that it takes money to make money, and we're also trying to make the coolest, most performant, and timely data service in existence. So I kind of say we kind of got to go for it. But I also have to listen to all the perspectives and make sure that, yes, it makes sense.
I heard the perspectives.
Announcement, Bert Stu.
We do have an announcement. But I was waiting to see if JFresh showed up, or maybe like Nuke, or somebody else who could like enjoy the moment with us.
I know.
But I guess, yeah, it's no. Well, I mean, no one wants to just listen to two of us.
I mean, we could just start talking about baby farms.
There's like 55 people over on the YouTube.
Okay, on the YouTube.
Yep, on the YouTube.
Well, before we do our really cool announcement, by the way, I can't get over. So Poopy changed his PFP to, is that Anwar al-Awlaki? I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea. Oh, because he's protesting the justified killing of an American citizen who wasn't in the country.
I don't know, but then also Dunkston jumped in on that too, and now has the face of some other dude. Well, it's just you and Dunkston, which makes me very suspicious that it's some sort of weird. Like, I thought it was a form of protest, like you were saying, but it was against, like, the entire pickle jar. Because every other word out of Poopy's mouth is, please block and ignore.
Have you read Section 122? Have you read the Constitution?
Oh, no, we're not doing this, girl.
All right. I'll stop.
We're not doing this. This is not the place.
He keeps quoting like congressional law as if it somehow supersedes the Constitution.
I mean, it all depends. I mean,
it doesn't.
How many Americans are dying a day?
Eat my ass, Poopy. All right. Somebody, no hand raising. We're gonna go over new features. So, Dork, a few days ago, I thought, wow, it's really cool that we've been able to push this pipeline of slightly, sometimes faster than Webull data directly to people, almost at a brokerage level. With price updates matching services that have been around for decades. And building out the infrastructure, and we went over this last time when I brown-nosed Nuke super hard, but he never heard it. But what Nuke built was truly, truly amazing. And I thought, what if this amazing thing Nuke built could be even better?
I like that.
And so while price data, yeah, exactly, Gilgamesh. What? No, yeah, not impossible. So while price data was updating in, you know, millisecond time, we're still running calculations on options and everything in the back end, and those are getting updated as that information comes in and batched into blocks. And I thought, what if we just calculate everything in real time and pull it every second and 15x our cloud costs? And thanks to some of you actually signing up after the beta, we had a little bit of money, and I was like, we're gonna spend that money, and we're gonna do options data in real time as well. And so that means that the gamma, volatility, all of your Greeks, your flips, all updating just as fast as price in very small batches of trades. So quick. And when we build out, it'll be noticeable. It'll be pretty noticeable. You're gonna see when we release it. Like I think it's gonna be next week. We're gonna run it through some tests and stuff and make sure everything's good to go. But when we release it next week, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna notice a big difference in gamma updates and how frequently they occur. You're gonna see positional changes on the chain in real time. And that's gonna be it's gonna be really cool for the tools we have. It's gonna be even cooler for the tools we're coming out with. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I'm gonna show you guys. This is pretty exciting.
We're not raising the membership, Seaweed, but we really should.
We're
Don't pay enough money.
we're not raising the membership price.
I know we're not. Sorry, I had to answer. That's an important question to answer. We're not making it cost more.
We are not.
Until we come out with some really, really cool stuff, then we might make it.
We are not. There will be another tier at some point, but it's not going to be anything to do with the live data. The next thing that we're releasing this coming week is going to be a volatility scanner. So a lot of you guys like selling spreads, you like selling vol. On this, you should be able to sort the HV/IV spreads on all the stocks we have. And you can see what those spreads look like on the 10, 30, 60, 90 day. And you can sort by positive or negative. And you can find out, what has IV greater than HV, what has IV lower than HV, and you'll be able to see that out across the time series of volatility. And so this should be a good way of just like finding stocks. Everyone was always asking me what's a good stock to sell spreads on. And if you're looking for some of that information, hopefully this helps you with that. Oh, YouTube Gammastrike logos. Oh shit. There we go. Thanks, Peach Fuzz.
Skill issue.
Yeah, it was.
Da-da-da-da. This is the thing for all you YouTube people. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And I may have put some creative influence on it, which Gherk very quickly kiboshed.
Yep.
Because it was I had no idea.
Well, it just didn't do anything.
I just came up with it on the spot, and I was like, I don't know, just do this. Maybe Nuke will be able to just crank it out really quick, and he did. So I was happy with that. But
is BNet back?
This is cool.
Oh, it's on the list. Oh, and yeah, you'll be able to click this. You go over to the volatility page for that stock. You'll be able to look at HV, IV on the 30-day or the 10-day, 60, 90. You'll be able to check that out. Right now, BNED has IV substantially higher than the historic vol, which means that options are overpriced relative to their historic performance, which can mean that they're fun to sell sometimes.
Yep.
And the opposite, if IV is significantly lower than historic performance, might be a good time
Yeah, this thing's kind of like
to have some exposure to it.
looks like a big giant condor machine or something, or a box spread thing. I don't know. I don't know what you. I mean, like I know what you do, but I haven't spent a lot of time.
Long ball, short ball, Dork. God damn it!
Basically, just condors.
No,
Short and long, right?
condors are just like theta.
You get some vol exposure with those things.
No, I mean if you're
Yeah.
not really like on the lost side.
Yeah. Right. Oh, well, okay, yeah, that's why you do short and long. Like you try to play the mean reversion, right? I mean,
No, they're just both short. Do you know how to make a condor?
I do know how to make a condor, but there's the long straddle and the short straddle.
You talking about like an inverse condor?
Opposite. Exactly. Yeah. Whichever one, to
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. Fine. More
I mean,
condors
yeah,
are really more like short realized vol
yeah,
than they
in
are
the sense
short
in which
implied vol.
yeah.
Which yeah, you can do if yeah. That's an alternative to going long volatility would be the short realized vol.
Everybody gonna well, yeah, to go long. Well, yeah, that's a complicated question to ask yourself and think to yourself, how can I make a position?
Nope, we don't have to worry about that. We just make data and give it to people. They figure out what to do with it.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it because I'm theory crafting.
I know. You're thinking about selling condors, aren't you?
I'm thinking about opening up option strat and pulling down my pants.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the ball scanner thing's super cool, and it's just so you guys know, it is much like drug dealers. We're just giving you a taste of what's to come.
Oh, what happened? Did Trump create world peace? That was weird. What a weird recovery.
It happened late in the night too. Like
Yeah, it was very late in the night. It must have been some
wonder if Russia and Ukraine
news.
got to a peace deal without the U.S. That would be poetic.
It would be.
That's like a 45-bit recovery overnight. Neat.
It's a big one. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the new feature, guys.
it's Nuke.
Nuke. Get him up here. Hi, Nuke.
What's up,
You guys
Nuke?
already did everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We showed your peener.
Well, I was gonna come in and ask if there were any cool new features that were coming out, but looks like you already got the hammer.
We did.
We tried to bullshit for like 10 solid minutes.
15 almost.
15 minutes of just me and him basically hiring and firing Cobra over and over again.
Which felt good, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah.
It was cathartic.
Nice.
What's the status on the issue with charm being reported differently on the different pages? Ooh, Nuke. Did you get that one? I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know of it.
Okay.
It's not. I have a big list of shit. So.
All right. We'll get to it. I'll let you know. Lost your gun when we get it fixed. I think the issue is. Actually, I'm not sure. What was it? We figured it out, didn't we?
Yeah, it was.
It was the
-1.
Yeah, it was the one of the multipliers is wrong on one of the charts. So for now, just look at gamma on the Greeks by strike page or charm, because the -1 multiplier isn't registering on the like the Greeks page with all the gamma. This one.
So
The
in all my physics
dashboard.
courses and everything. In all my physics courses and everything, whenever I'd be stuck on a homework problem and I'm getting like the wrong answer and I go to the professor, one of the first things out of their mouth is, "You're probably missing a negative sign somewhere."
I don't know if we're missing it. It's just not there, but yeah, it's not coming up. like they're not showing properly under net.
It's just one of those things when you have all this stuff going on is sometimes you miss a negative sign.
Yeah. So that's all it is. Not a big deal, but stick with the Greeks by Strike page for now because it works perfectly. Where did it go?
Yeah, because I don't know, some guy who makes the end of day data did that one. He's a total dork though.
I can't click Greeks by Strike. The fuck?
Did you try clicking it harder?
Oh, okay, there it goes.
Turned it off for you.
That was weird.
Rod.
Oh. Thank you.
Just kidding.
Anyway, let's get some questions. Get your hands up,
Yeah,
people.
where's the questions at?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna end this shit right now. Like we already did the reveal. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I could eat dinner and hang out with my girlfriend and watch TV.
Oh, there we go. We got Gilgamesh coming up.
Is he gonna ask when I'm going on vacation?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Hey, first question. When is Dork going on vacation?
George can answer that. I'll be right back.
Well, Gilgamesh, it's a very complicated question. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to actually give away that much alpha to the general public. But suffice to say, I will be away from my desk for all of next week.
That means the market's going to crash.
The last time I did this was 2022 in May. And when I did that, I believe it was First Republic Bank that collapsed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And
I was
you went
literally
out
on
in like the middle
vacation
of
watching my
nowhere or
foot sprain.
something, right? You went like out into the desert or whatever.
It's generally where I like to go, is where there's a lot less cell service.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
You
it
guys
was
could
May.
probably,
In March was SVB, Baby Mama Fight Club. I know it's
Yeah.
confusing with all the banks that failed in 2022. There were quite a few. There's like
Yeah, I remember
6
that.
or something.
Went back when SPX was at like 4,500 or something like that. I don't even.
Yeah, and the bank index was more volatile than VIX.
So I have to do very quick dick sucking because I finally got access to RTD page as of today, and Nuke, this is just fucking incredible. It's beautiful. I literally got no work done all day, and I had so much work to do. And I woke up this morning and literally with the productive mentality of, ooh, I'm gonna get work done today. And then you motherfucker, you guys released it, and my god, it is so beautiful. I know I'm behind the curve, but
Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man.
oh yeah, I mean, it's so good. I guess my questions are pretty rudimentary, but it's just kind of around some of the non-SPXW pages, and just kind of like a little bit of the wonkiness that's present in, like, I mean, for example, SPX. I know it's obviously a long-term chain.
Yes.
No, not complaints.
Notepad.
I mean,
I was gonna note your note, dude. I wanted to know your complaints.
You can mark it as a complaint. That's fine. If whatever
I'm doing it right
gets you
now.
off at night, it's fine.
Gherk's away,
I won't
J-Fresh. I
judge.
can't let you in. All right, ask me your question so I can answer it before Gherk gets back and J-Fresh gets really frustrated that he can't answer it.
I guess on the first question would just be like on SPX. This is probably already been answered now that I think about it. But I don't come to most roundtables. My fault. But like with the Delta flip, it's like just insane, and it's all over the place. I'm assuming that's not a data error. I'm sure it's something to do with just the SPX chain being insane, because it is. But
well, I mean, the calculation is the calculation. So, I mean, we'll define crazy. Like, first off, like, what are we talking? Like, Whale teeth? Like how big
Yeah.
are whale teeth? Nuke,
For like
are we gonna have
half
to
the
sit
day.
down? Are we gonna have to sit down and have a discussion?
No.
Okay,
If
well
it
then the calculations are the calculations, and shit happens.
if that's
Should.
the case, fair enough. I didn't know if it was like something to do with the chain itself, like some mechanic.
Well, so I mean, the delta flip, right? It's there's a few things that can affect it, right? Big changes in spot price can make it go up and down a bunch. Big changes in positioning obviously make it go up and down a bunch. But if, like, let's just say delta is very evenly interdispersed on the chain, then your delta flip is going to move around a lot more quickly than if all of your delta is concentrated, say, at the money.
Within reason,
So,
though.
yeah.
These swings are not within reason.
All right. Well, we can have it. Well, let's have a conversation, Nick. I'll sit down with you and we can try to. I haven't looked at our input stuff in a while, but we could look at the inputs and see what's going on.
I'm sorry,
It's
Nuke.
the
I
same
didn't mean to
thing. I
write
don't
you
know if you
out.
guys remember when Gamma Flip started going crazy some days, and
Yeah,
now it doesn't go crazy. Similar thing, just on Delta on SPX, and some of
it's
these
just like
cases
a
come
smoothing.
through with all the, well, not smoothing, but with all the tickers that we're bringing in. There are cases on some of them that are being highlighted now, right? We don't just have one SPXW that we're looking at that we've stared at for 3 months. We
This is
have some,
SPX.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll look into that one, and I'll just stare at it tomorrow, and see what it looks like because it probably, yeah, I could probably we could nail it down.
Cool.
Um, yeah.
Again,
So,
it's my
but
first
if
day,
it's
so I had.
SPX though, then it's further out. So, I
Gotcha.
mean, some of the contracts on the near dated SPX stuff, they don't have a ton of volume, so the price data we get could be pretty wonky. And if we get wonky price data, then we have to go in and fill in the gaps and try to figure out, okay, right, like, do these, how do we make these numbers make sense? And sometimes you have very little information, but yeah, we'll dig into it and see what's going on.
Sounds good. I
Um,
don't know
but
if I
yeah,
can leave. I'm good. That
investigate.
was my only
I'm
question.
logging this as a complaint, by the way, so just for me. And I
It's
have
not a
Good.
exactly
complaint.
24 hours to figure out what's wrong.
Do you make a ticket as a bug and get it
I'm gonna
documented?
make it. I'm gonna make it. I'll make a bug. I'll make a ticket. Bug it up, dude. We're making bugs and
Can you
tickets, and we're not letting JFresh in.
click on real time data and pull up SPX?
Yeah. Let's see what's going on here.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you let JFresh in?
we gotta look at it. You're
Oh
talking about
yeah,
like
shit. That looks
for
awful.
single stock tickers. There's something going on.
Oh yeah, that's dropping down to. It looks like. Oh yeah, okay. I think I know
Does
what
it?
this is actually.
Delta Gamma flipped. Yeah, I think I know what it is too. It's fine. Well,
Yeah, we'll get that sorted out.
yeah, the infrastructure's there. We just gotta tweak the code on the back end
On SPX.
or
Yep. I see it, Nick.
just on
Yeah.
SPX. Oh, okay.
I mean, I already knew what it was, but I was told don't show your buttholes to everyone, so I didn't talk about it. I'm not supposed to.
You should
Freaking
show me your
Jensen said
butthole,
it.
dude. I
So,
need to be
Yeah.
intimately aware of your butthole and what's going on with it.
no,
I just
no,
walked
no,
up to
no.
Nuke and ripped off his pants without consent. I'm sorry.
I need to inspect that prostate.
Basically, the calculations that we do sometimes they have more than one answer, and we're finding one of the answers that is not super helpful. Sometimes.
Yep. Pretty
Yeah,
much it.
that makes
I would say
sense.
that's close, if not dead on to what's going on.
Yeah, we'll get
Cool.
that fixed.
Yeah, that's a quick one, Nuke. We'll take it offline and I'll tell you what will help with that.
All right. That's all I had. I'll let someone else come up here, I guess. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for a complaint. Thank you so much for a complaint.
You're welcome anytime.
For a second, I thought we were perfect. Yeah, they're great. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to do.
Yeah, do you guys
Yeah,
need more
there
to
is.
do?
Yeah.
I mean, I got some things that I want to volunteer to do, Nuke, but I want your blessing first, and I will talk to you about them the next third Friday.
I got things you can do. I've been waiting for you.
I
to
know
do
you
free
do.
Dork.
I know you do, Jay Fresh. I know you do. Okay. But the things you want me to do are really hard.
Yeah.
They're always
Or
hard. Why do you
can
got
you
to give
pull
me
up
hard things to do?
SPX so we can show the class on real-time data?
What, how it looks bad?
Yeah, so that they're aware. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Some of the data in there is okay. Some of it is very much not.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll fix it.
All right, Nuke. I got you. I got you your bug ticket.
Sweet.
I need to put some repro steps. Look at that. Oh, motherfucker. There we go. Okay. Why would you do that? I don't know.
J-Fresh, were you here for the shilling? The shilling?
Which one?
No. No, we killed so much time and no one showed up.
All right, re-shill it for me and J-Fresh. I don't know what it is.
Where was shilling?
There's a few. Wait, I don't know. Hold on. Everybody in the audience, did all you guys see the new feature? Show of hands. There we go. You see? Okay, yeah. Okay, Nuke,
One of
you
those
don't
is
count.
Nuke. Nuke said no a lot. Yeah, there's like 3 people and Nuke that haven't seen it.
HIV scanner is so nice. How did
Yeah,
we miss
actually,
that? I'm gonna rename
I
it.
Oh god,
No.
you guys called it the V spread. You guys are okay, great.
I didn't call it that at all.
You guys are like 5 years old. I love it. What if
Yeah, did you hear
five-year-olds
that?
made an options website? We're just like, let's use the biggest pretty colors.
Did you hear we're cranking real-time
yeah.
data? Hey, Fresh, next week.
I heard, finally.
Yeah. So
There's something about those 1 second updates that just get me going.
bouncing around.
Oh,
Yeah, if you liked real time data, you're gonna love juiced real time data. All right, I just came here for yeah, latest version. I just came for the shilling, so I'm gonna bounce
Re-
now while you
realer
guys
and
talk about
timelier.
stuff. All right, later,
Yeah.
dude. No. Well, now I know what I'm gonna go watch. Oh boy. All right, gotta go. I have something I need to look at. All right.
Be safe, Nuke. All right. Well, dude, yeah, we just hanging out. We all just have like we about to talk about the weather. I don't know. Woohoo! We celebrated. What's next? Need to. You always have questions. I just figured you're gonna have your hand up. Oh, there we go.
Thanks. I figured since no one else is asking questions, I'll just see if I'm using the tool correctly. Um, with the new real-time data, it's a lot easier to see the gamma and the IV. And I just want to see if I'm using the two bottom charts correctly. Whenever I see like the gamma tick down on a strike, I'll I'll think like, oh, that's a put. Or if it goes up, I'll think it's a call. And then I'll look over to the IV. And if it goes down, I'll be like, that's being sold. Or if it's the IV goes up, it's like, okay, that's most likely being bought. Am I using those two charts correctly in those instances?
Bingo.
Yeah, you've got the
Bingo.
right idea. I would say we are working on making that process easier to do visually and mentally in your head with those two data sets. I guess that's all. Yeah, I don't know how much detail I want to go into, but we're putting a lot of thought and time into redesigning these two charts to make that process easier so that you can basically see, okay, what's IV doing at these strikes and what are the contracts that are driving that move? So yeah, that's in the pipes.
Sounds like you
Oh
guys have
yeah.
some new features you want to talk about.
They're still not. They're not fully baked.
Yeah,
Some
we've got a massive pipeline of shit we want to crank out, but and
experimental visualizations.
yeah, and Nuke has very bravely started attacking them, but we want to get out some stuff that's a little more solid, a little more like well fleshed out, and then we'll start, reimagining sort of how we want the real time data to look because it's a lot to put on one screen. I loved what JFresh brought to the table, and I'm thinking we're gonna have something very close to that. But yeah, we just gotta throw it on there and see how it looks, and try it on for size and all that fun stuff.
But yeah, you are thinking about it the right way. But yes, we recognize that process of trying to match up what's happening on one graph and the other graph and infer what's going on between all those data sets is not easy right now. We're trying to make it easier.
With the visual learning, oh well, I mean, every day that the stock market is trading, right? You have this opportunity all day and during the trading session to, whenever you can, just take a look at some stuff. I mean, watching things go up or down, I mean, that's a little tougher to do throughout the day, but the market presents a bunch of opportunities to catch things like that. If
What are you
just,
talking
check them
about?
out. Oh,
I
just
don't know what you
Nimrod's daughter
said.
was asking a question in chat about doing a general overview so we could do the visual learning. Well, I thought that was that not was your question not related to okay, JFresh, in this live audio thing there's a chat. You used it and said let me in.
Yeah, I know. What is what you're
And Nimrod's
saying?
daughter
I don't.
asked a
I don't know.
question.
I guess I don't know what it means. A general overview, so we can do the visual learning. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I figured it meant with relation to the live data.
Show me how to use.
Well, how to use everything?
Oh.
Like, okay, so you just want like a user manual thing going on? You see, this is why we need the interactive charts in the docs.
Yeah. That's a docs issue. I need to
I know.
update those, but then I'm gonna update this page, and then it's gonna change again.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending cycle. I'm not gonna tell her to read the docs. I'm pretty sure she already has.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, she says I didn't want to read the fucking manual, so that makes me think that she maybe didn't read the fucking manual.
Oh, read the docs. Start there. But yeah, I mean, some
The
of this
docs are super helpful.
the docs are the docs need refreshing. It's on my list, but yeah.
They're very good. The market maker hedging section, JFresh, I sang its praises the other night. It's super, like, because a lot of questions revolve around that. So I just really emphasize that is a section everyone should go and read. So okay, so UX needs improvements. So okay, well, like I think what we're lost on is like, okay, to help you use the site, we want to arm you with the conceptual understanding of what we're showing you. Right? That is done in the docs, and then in here when you're trying to conceptually understand something, it would be really helpful too if you had like a specific example. Because then we could kind of get into the nitty gritty. Nimrod's daughter just asked like how to use site, and she doesn't want docs. But I mean, the docs are kind of the way.
Yeah, like I would have to know more about like where you're starting from to get a sense of how to start going through a feature. Oh, so okay. Yeah, so the docs have some of that. I mean, basically, there's a whole section on it that just walks through picture, chart by chart. What does this do? What mean? Some of the charts need to be updated, but basically, it's there. That would be a place to start. Yeah, sorry, you just need to. They're good docs. I mean, it's like I think it's something like 12,000 words or something, and it needs to be. It's I still have more stuff to add. So it's. I mean,
It's a living document.
We're approaching significant fractions of an actual novel. So if it's not in there.
A manifesto, you mean?
I can't tell if he really hated the joke.
I just kind of figure it's both.
Like he hated the joke so much he left.
If you wanna, yeah, I know Nimrod. It's not a novel's 50,000 at minimum. I dated someone who's into NaNoWriMo for a while. Yeah, go look that up if you don't know what that is. Anyway,
Yeah, now I need to know how long you dated that person for.
oh, it's a long time.
It's in his dossier.
Shit, I lost that, Gherkin. Can you send me another copy?
No problem.
Yeah, if you want to know where the Trump P videos are, they're in my dossier. Don't ask.
Trump
Yeah.
videos.
Do you think the rate of flow of urine out of a geriatric 80-year-old is the same as any other mammal?
Within bounds, yeah.
Does that account for his engorged prostate?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't
Alright.
think the study included humans.
Carry on.
So Nimrod, to boil it down, like, yes, we want to help, but
Pull up
if
your
you show
docs
up,
page real quick.
it's just when you show up and don't have a lot of specifics, it's like it's hard for us to, like Jay Fresh said, it's hard for us to gauge
So go to
what you're really
section.
falling short on.
Go to section 3.3.2. So this is an example of like we basically just walk through. Oh, here's what this chart shows, and then the next one, 3.3.3, and it goes into what is this and what does it mean. And a lot of the explanations for what some of these quantities are explained in chapter. Yeah, I mean chapters 1 and 2 really have a lot of that in there. So if you like look at this and feel like I don't understand what delta exposure is, you can go to market mechanics and talk about go to exposure hedging, and then there's delta hedging, gamma hedging, volatility hedging, right? And there's discussions about excuse me excuse me, there's discussions about all of that. So I would encourage you to dig around in there. I did try to spend a lot of time thinking about, like, if I was going to start with somebody who knew almost nothing about options, how would I slowly drag them to some semblance of understanding of the data that we're presenting on the website. And I know there's still work to be done, but there's a lot there already.
I like the docs.
And I haven't.
I think if
and
you were like somebody teaching derivatives, you could totally sell that shit to your students for like $70 a semester.
It's almost like I've spent a lot of time teaching people things.
Wait.
And
Do you not sell your own textbook to your students?
no,
Yeah,
they
I feel
can
like
get
Jeffrey
whatever.
should be above that.
I tell them to get
Dude,
an old
you
version for
could have made so much
$10 off
money.
of Amazon.
You could have made so much money.
The classes I teach, the first thing I say is get whatever book you want. I'm going off of this book, but get whatever version you want. The stuff I'm about to teach you hasn't changed in 100 years.
I've had physics professors who are like, I use they're like, the third edition's the most recent, but you can just use the second edition, and all the homework questions and stuff are going to be coming from the second edition if they come from the book.
I just copy them. So like
definitely don't look at the solution manual.
Yeah, they give me access to, most places give me access to like digital versions of the homeworks and stuff and solutions. And so, yeah, I just take pictures of the actual homework problem I want them to solve and upload it. And they just work on that. So then it doesn't matter what version they have. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, so put a lot of work into those docs. I know I need to update them. There's a lot of work still to be done, but bones are there.
I remember
And
my
then,
first English lit professor, when I showed up to class, it was just like his bookstore. He was like, "This is our textbook," and I wrote it. But you'll also need this online textbook that I also wrote. And the first novel we'll be discussing, you guessed it, my novel. I hated that fucking guy so
Genius,
much.
Absolute genius, dude.
It was like $600 to take his class. I was like, I'm gonna fucking leave.
Dude, he's raking it in from his
Yeah.
students, bro. I mean, like, why? Like, if I was a college professor and I'm getting paid not enough to do this job, yeah, hell yeah, I would do that.
Yeah,
He
one
was
time
getting
I asked,
paid more than enough.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was. I one time I asked an administrator. I was like, so like in most trade-based organizations, the people that are doing the actual nitty-gritty work, usually they'll get something on the order of like 20% commission, right, on every dollar they bring in.
Mhm.
And I was like, do we have an equivalent of that for the classes we teach? Are we getting 20% of the credit hour costs? And they just had no idea. Like, they looked at me like I was insane. Like, why would you even consider thinking that? I was like, maybe because I'm the one doing all the fucking work, and you're a dean that does nothing.
They're
You're trying to start
the
like a
one getting the commission,
revolution?
Jay Fresh. He's almost talking about educational reform.
Did you guys answer Denslink's questions? My steak came black and blue, and I had to go put it back in a pan.
Nice.
I'm very pissed.
I tried.
Yep, they did an amazing job.
Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, let's see what. We did have a bunch of questions in here. Let's see.
I wouldn't microwave a steak.
Are we like digging
Tell her to
for
read the
questions?
docs.
We're better than that.
Can you explain the difference between? Okay, this was good. Can you explain the difference between speed and Vana, whatever? The chart looks very similar, but I'm not sure if they affect hedging the same way. And does Vanna hold more weight near expiry like Charm? Yeah, the difference between speed and Vanna is pretty significant. I mean, they're completely different things. So one is based on the change in price with respect to change in volatility, and one is change in price with respect to the change in spot, right? So you're going to get completely different things. So speed, it's speed. It always confuses me because physically, this is like my riff on finance people because they named things terribly for this system. But we are where we are. So speed is actually an acceleration, even though the word speed implies a velocity. But basically, actually, this is all in the docs too. Maybe I should just pull up the docs.
I mean, we should.
Section 1.4, the Greeks. So if we go to Vanna, Vanna is the first derivative of delta with respect to IV. So basically what this means is everybody's delta hedging, right? Well, the market maker's delta hedging. So if I buy a call, they're short the call, and so they can hedge that delta exposure by buying the underlying, right? As the implied volatility or as the spot price changes, that delta will change, and so how much they have to buy, how much they have to own will change. So they're constantly having to update their hedged portfolio based on changes in spot and changes in volatility and also changes in time, which we'll talk about at the end of this question. So Vanna is what they have to do, or basically what they have to buy or sell based on changes in IV. And then speed is a little bit more complicated because the equivalent of Vanna is gamma. So gamma is the derivative or the change of delta with spot price, right? So as that's the biggest one by far. So as price moves up and down, gamma indicates how much their delta hedge has to change. Speed is the change of gamma with respect to spot price. So it is what we call so this is a third derivative. We call that a third order effect, right? So if you think about like, I'm gonna do this. So if you go to the Gammastrike page and go to, well, anything like just the Greeks for SPXW. If you look at yeah, the not Greeks by strike, just the end of day Greeks. No, not Greeks by strike. Just the first tool. Yeah, just
Oh.
Greeks. Yeah. So if you look here, like delta exposure, the solid purple line, it's like around 500 billion ish. And then if you look at gamma, you're talking about 30 billion to 40 billion ish. Right. So that kind of gives you a sense of the magnitudes of delta versus the thing that changes with changes in the delta change with change in spot. It's about 1/10 or so of delta. So speed will be about like 1/10 of that. And so you're talking about a few percent of the total delta hedge. So those tend to be very helpful in very short time frames and very large moves. But in the normal discourse of a trading day, it's swamped out by gamma. Vanna, by contrast, is almost about on the same order as gamma, but instead of changes in spot, it's changes in IV. And so, what Vanna will tell you is basically, let's say somebody's shorting a bunch of puts, which is dropping IV. And let's say there's already a bunch of puts, kind of down, way far away, down on the chain. Well, as you short IV, you're pushing the delta down on those out of the money contracts, which is going to cause the market maker to no longer have to hedge those contracts. And so Vanna kind of gives you a sense of what's going on in the edges, like really far away from spot. If it were in contrast, gamma is telling you what's happening like right at spot. And then speed is telling you what's happening to those changes. So I think it's largely a coincidence that they look the same because they're completely different things. So I'll leave it there. I'll say dig through the docs and see if any of that makes more sense, and then we can revisit that because at this point I think I'd probably have to do a pretty fundamental dive into those things, and it probably would make you sad if I did that. But so does Vanna hold more weight near expiration, like Charm? So it can, but it's kind of they're very related as you start to get really close to expiration. They almost start to like converge into the same effect where basically anything that's even a little bit out of the money has drastic changes to its delta with changes in spot IV and time as you get close to expiration. And so all of those effects from those second order Greeks get very sensitive as you get close to expiration. The key difference being that charm the charm decay, the time decay happens no matter what. Like if nobody traded anything, right, that decay would still be occurring, and that buying and selling pressure would still have to occur by the market maker, right? So if nobody was trading, the market maker would still have to trade that Whereas something like Vanna, if nobody was trading and nothing was happening in the market elsewhere that would cause the risk profile of the market maker to change, then there's no reason to change the IV, and so that wouldn't have to change it. They wouldn't have to do any hedging as you get into expiration. However, if there was an event that changed IV in some way, very close to expiration, it can have very big moves. But I think I'll probably leave it there because I'm kind of just rambling on and on.
Well, so
This
so
really,
to I think there's a good way to boil it down. You know how sometimes when you're trading options when the market's really volatile and you get stopped out and the price barely moved, that's Vanna.
yeah,
So
yeah. So there's like a compression or expansion in Vanna that will cause contracts that are out of the money to dramatically change value, even though it didn't seem like much happened in terms of price. And then everyone's just like, oh, I got stopped out, like the market maker sniped me. Maybe, yeah. Because the market maker basically, because IV is the IV of a contract is the price of a contract. They're the same thing, which is also in the docs. And so if a market maker sees that you're willing to sell them a contract for $8 that they deem is worth 12, yeah, they're gonna buy it for 8, and that's gonna drop the IV, right? Because they've implied the volatility is worth $12, and you've implied the volatility is worth 8, and so they're gonna take the difference on that. So that's an issue of your future expectation model in your own brain, which I'm sure you've all developed as you're trading these 0 DTE options.
well, but yeah, and I mean to point out something else too. I mean, when spreads get blown out on options, you end up with crazy Vanna as well, purely because just price is inefficient at that point in time, where you've got these crazy wide spreads. There is a price that is the fair price, but no one's willing to approach it.
Hey, Dork.
Yeah, I mean, you say fair price. Yeah, I don't think there's not like a fair price for an option that you can just calculate and then everybody knows and agrees that there's a fair price, right? It all comes down to guessing future expectations, but also it has a lot to do with the risk profile uh, uh, of the market participants, even in things completely unrelated to the thing that you're actually trading, right? Because they have to look at their risk profile across their entire portfolio, which may consist of a lot of different options contracts, but also even different instruments entirely. And so the pricing of contracts can also tell you a little bit about vulnerability of market makers and weaknesses that are being exposed, right? So you can see big quote unquote mispricing in options simply because a market maker might think an option's only 12, but they can't risk selling it for 12. It doesn't make sense for their portfolio to sell it for less than 18 for some reason, right? Something blew up and some other instrument somewhere is adding risk to their system. In which case, you say it's 18, maybe I'll sell one, right? Because they're really hurting for these contracts and they're willing to pay extra for it.
Speaking of hurting, Dork, question: Have you ever been like with like a partner and you're like sick or not in the mood, and they kind of you kind of just like
Yeah, all the time.
Yep, and he's gone. I feel like he's talking to us
It's
about
actually my
his
go-to.
I think my
his black and blue
hello?
stick.
Okay, yeah, okay. And so like you're not in the mood and they just like kind of take care of shit themselves. And that
Uh-huh.
like that period when they're doing that where it's just kind of silent, but you know what's going on and you're lonely and a little sad. That's
Oh, that's every time. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
What
That's
is
a
happening
lot.
right now?
That is a lot like listening to JFresh explain what Vana is in 4 different ways, and then explain how to hedge Vana in 2 different ways, and then just to explain what risk is in general to wrap things up.
He made
Well-
sure it really drilled down to the fundamentals.
Here's
Wait, no,
here's the
JFresh,
problem.
can you explain why things are hedged?
Wait, what's risk?
Just all things. No, you
Here's
already
the
explained
problem.
risk.
You're laughing,
you-
but there are 10 people in this chat right now who are just like, "What is risk? What is?" There's at least windmill.
Do I need
There's
to
at
pull
le-
out? Do I need to pull out the gamma curve
You
again?
guys laugh. I've been doing teaching long enough to know that there are 2 people in here who, if you ask them, give me a definition of money, they would be like, I have no idea.
You're not wrong.
Like, I know they're there.
Maeve is
because-
like, Gherk doesn't always explain stuff to us anymore because he's tired of us not remembering all of it. No. That's not true, Maeve. I'm tired of you guys not remembering any of it.
This is why I have to be like, okay, I'm explaining this, but nobody in the chat's gonna know what this is. So now I have to explain that, and then I have to explain this, and I'm just like, well, red is a color that is blood. Blood is red. Red is blood. I don't know how to explain the color red.
Big Bear is raising
I
his
get
hand.
it.
You have to go in the Discord and raise your hand. Not in the you just ask your question in the YouTube. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll take it. We're desperate. Anything to get JFresh to stop talking about fucking Vana.
Wait, I want to talk about risk some more. Risk is fun.
No, it's not.
I can pull out a bell curve. We could talk about probabilities.
Oh, Jesus.
Say all that again.
Christ.
Yeah. I know that there's 5 of you just for listening to me drone on and falling asleep.
I totally zoned out daydreaming
honestly, if
there. Can you say all of that again?
We're recording it.
Yeah.
Just go listen to it again.
Honestly, like I mean, really, something that would help a lot of you guys, because you guys have a lot of really good and in-depth questions, is just to make sure your foundation is like solid on, just basic statistics stuff is good to know. So poke around on some resources on that, like what is probability, what is a distribution look like, what does standard deviation mean, right? Like that's all really good stuff to know. If you do want to get in the weeds,
Gilgamesh
it's good to know.
formerly worked at a REIT and would like to know what is a standard deviation.
God damn it. Oh my god.
It's a
This is
deviation.
what we're-
Don't worry, his risk managers didn't know either.
It's a deviation that is typically expected.
Yeah, it's how far away are you from the mean relative to how far away most things are from the mean.
You could probably make it more simple and just say it's a measure of how spread a set of data is around its average.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of something else.
Hmm.
The standard deviation, yeah, that's how wide apart things are from the mean, and then a z-score is how far this particular thing is from the mean relative to other stuff.
We can't do this. Now you guys are doing what I do.
I know.
And you're right, it is unbearable.
I said average.
Where do babies come from? Well, Carl, when someone loves your wife.
Wait,
very
hold on.
much-
Don't explain it to him, because then he's going to understand where his baby came from. And no one needs to have that conversation tonight.
This baby
When
does look
someone-
oddly Puerto Rican.
When someone with beautiful red hair loves your wife very much.
And is Puerto Rican.
Someone with beautiful red hair loves your wife. So, Carl, you know when your wife went out that night with those two other guys?
You remember when I was in town for that conference?
Yeah, and he was hanging out with Carrot Top.
Yeah, that's what we do. Us redheads get together and just try to find
Yeah,
Carrot
do you guys
Top.
have like annual meetings or something? I'm gonna look this
Yeah,
up.
we're just always trying to find Carrot Top.
Apparently, in the next 100 years, the ginger gene is supposed to be extinct. Some people
Yeah,
did some genetic
that
study on it.
seems unknowable. Speaking
Yeah.
of probabilities, they're probably
Nope, that's not true.
underestimating
There's
how
a Redhead Days festival held annually in Tilburg, Netherlands.
Oh,
Ooh.
It's
Is
an
it-
event.
first corporate
Is a
retreat.
celebration of red hair color and a chance for redheads to connect and embrace their shared identity.
Seems kind of
Okay, so it's like
but
the Special Olympics.
But for gingers,
Yeah, I can say that because I have red hair.
it's the same thing genetically.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Jay Fresh.
Just talks to myself. Let's
Because
move
you're a
on.
ginger.
Yeah, I'm in the Netherlands.
I gotta find that picture of you with the rifle that was like in the video 130p's.
Isn't that's oh, they were putting Farmville's face on me.
That was I think Gherk made that one of you.
which one?
It was from
I've made a
it
few.
was the one from that movie
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, where he's holding the M14.
Oh yeah.
it's Jay Fresh's scribbled face. It says in the video 130p's or whatever.
Video was wild, man. When I was playing the downside on that and that one earnings where I bought one call and it that one call went to like $9,000 or something like that. It was insane.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts. That was the best
And then
hedge I've
after-
ever bought.
After that, I was like, I'm not fucking shorting this thing anymore.
Or do we have any actual questions anymore, or are we done? Can we go eat
Spicy
bonbons
lentil.
and jerk off? Spicy lentil?
I'm trying to find that fucking meme I made.
It was great. It was gold.
It was like a year ago.
It was all right.
It was like 2 years ago.
Oh god, it was.
Yeah, Nvidia's been up a long time now. Remember that guy who's going to get married when Nvidia hit 300, and we were all just like, "What an idiot!"
we were so young and so bearish.
That guy probably had a wedding that most of us could only dream of.
I hope he spent all the money he made on his wedding.
I do too. He absolutely deserved it for being such a Chad.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So as
No, I found the
you
one
were
of Seth MacFarlane as Dylan Harper.
Okay. Well, you just cut him off mid-question, which was rude.
Sorry.
I mean,
Continue.
You can finish your train of thought.
I don't want to hear the rest of that.
Okay, so I did read the docs as Jay Fresh indicated, but perhaps I may need to read it over and over again. But I was looking at Carvana, and I guess like this is one that is sort of It was interesting because there's like hardly any like puts, and um, but there's like a huge gamma at spot basically. So I guess that would imply that's like a lot of call selling. Would that be correct? Because when I look at the previous day to today, there's actually more gamma, um, more positive gamma. So I'm trying to think, would that be more call selling or it's just like people going long calls?
Eric, do you want to pull up the data he's talking about? Maybe that would help.
I guess Dirk's not there.
Carvana.
Carvana.
CVNA.
All right. And we're looking at gamma.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's like a lot of gamma, I mean, expiring this week. And between
Yep.
yesterday today, there's like more, or it's higher, it's more positive. But and in respect to like calls versus puts, there's like no puts across the chain, right? So to me, from reading the docs, if I read it correctly, this would imply that there's just a lot of call selling that's going on. And if I look at the I guess it's the trader dashboard, I can look at the DEX SA and the GEX against it.
Mm-hmm.
So here, like the DEX SA is like coming down. So I guess that's where it's because from the dots, it's like if it's more negative, there's more bearishness. But if it's coming down, I would think that there's more. The participants are a bit more positive towards it, but at the same time, the GEX essay is also like more negative than the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So to me that seems like it's just more call selling, and I guess it could be
Yeah,
that.
so
There's some other
let's
indications too, like gamma neutral rising towards spot. But that could also be profit taking on in the money shit.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
sorry, Jay Fresh, I didn't mean to.
Oh, I was gonna say if you walk through like that data, first of all, I'd say Delta's pretty flat on this, which at the end there, right? So it like pops up and then goes flat, but it's pretty small. The skew adjusted at least is what I'm talking about. And that's kind of an indication that someone tried to sell it off, but the options didn't budge, and so it like popped right back up to where it was. With the gamma increasing, or at least the skew adjusted gamma increasing, that indicates to me, what does that indicate? So if gamma is negative, more puts.
It's more puts. I mean, there's like hardly any puts on the chain, so I thought it was just more selling of calls.
Well, it could be if there's hardly any put. When you say hardly any puts on the chain, though,
And if I go to Greeks by strike, there's just like nothing there.
it's just a little bit of a mystery here. How can there be nothing? Wait, why is it not? Oh, I'm on the wrong
Or nothing meaning like in proportion to the calls, it's very like the percentage.
one. Okay. CBNA.
No, if you move it like shorter dated, then it's more significant.
CV and A doing that one. That's why. Okay, so let's go to OI. There's plenty of puts on the chain. I mean, there's fewer, but they're still there. I mean, there's like at 165, there's a ton of puts. Those are all basically at the June 20 expiration, like all of them. So there's a huge amount of those, and then let's see what happened the day before. Okay, yeah, so basically not a ton has changed. So that might just be
That's not true. Those
decay.
Yeah, I
puts,
was
those
thinking,
puts at 220 went up a lot from like a few days ago.
11,413,
They were at like
11,463.
3,100 contracts, and now they're at 1,100 contracts.
Yeah, they did go up a lot actually. Yeah, so I would say, looking at OI, those things did increase a fair amount. I think if you're looking at the gamma, sure, yes, a lot of the gamma is on calls, but that's just because there's a lot of short dated stuff right now.
Yeah, look
It's
at
at the money.
like the IVHV 10, and look at the IVHV 30. So if you're looking at this, like IV 10's rocketing. It's way over historic vol. It's a 120 versus 66. But if you look at IV 30, it's kind of crushing. Like IV 30's been on a straight downtrend since.
yeah, I mean, well, its earnings is
Like
next week,
410.
so I.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Although you'd expect IV 30 to price up a little bit on earnings.
Yeah. I mean, I was I was gonna play for earnings, but just like a few weeks or like a month after, like the June 20th, basically. But I was just curious if because today it went up nicely, but and just looking, and so I sold the calls that I had, but I was thinking whether it was just like repositioning just based on this data. Just did I make the right decision? I guess.
I would say if calls are
It's
being
like,
sold, they're being sold further out, which I'm sure is corroborated by some of the out of the money interest, because all of the shits are like this week. But like if you look at like the 260, it's got a bunch of shit out on June. Like 270's got some
yeah,
further dated stuff. This is a little bit past earnings, like the 300. The way out of the money stuff is all further dated, like 330, 350. Maybe like I'm surprised the 250 strike is so. I mean, these are probably. I mean, if they're not bought, they're squeezed out. So they're gonna act
yeah.
as support there.
I mean, which makes sense because it's still held. I mean, it went up to like 262 and then dropped to this level where there was max gamma.
There's like not
Um,
much room for it to move up though. It's legitimately like
yeah,
close like right at gamma max today.
yeah. But considering that it's like most of that hedging falls off after this week,
Yeah,
um, is it like,
especially that
I
short
mean,
term like bullish, like the bullish hedge in the short term, because like IV on the IV 10 is so high that it's probably gonna crush. And as that crushes, the market maker is probably going to shed delta. The only way that wouldn't happen is if their earnings is so stupendous that the price of the stock gaps up like $50 and starts running. But otherwise, I mean, the market maker is probably carrying significantly more delta than they currently need.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And
I mean,
way
it's
more
fun
delta
for
than
like
they'll
that.
need post earnings. And so in that event, like you can end up in a situation where the MM like dumps all of that delta after earnings. Also, just a note on Carvana is their payment in kind is coming due. So that the payment in kind on their debt is going to fall off, and they're going to have to make cash payments towards their debt, which they're either going to have to talk about in their guidance or at least bring up over the next two earnings calls. And that's really, really bad for them because their debt is not only at like 13% interest, but they have like $15 billion worth of it.
I see. Okay,
Actually, it
so
might be more than that.
those
Sorry.
165 puts
I think that's
feels
just
like a
one
big deal.
tranche. $7 billion.
People buy cars from Carvana.
I don't know. But every time they do,
Apparently.
Carvana loses money.
But it's very propped up by institutions, I would think.
Well, they owe money to a lot of people who want to sell the stock that they've hedged it with.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for the clarifications. Yeah, I guess that's all I had. Yeah.
Did you have any? You forgot to say something nice about our service and how it helped you make money on your Carvana position.
That's not a requirement.
Actually, that's funny. The reason I got into that position was like I think it was like a month ago or something. I was just looking at the options volume that day, Corona, and someone bought like there was like 15,000 calls, or I assume they were called for the 350 strike. So I was like, maybe that guy knows something, and I just bought a few.
So what you're saying is you're confirming that we feel we should probably just abandon everything that we're building and just build another Pelosi tracker.
No, I'm not confirming that. I am trying to corroborate that person's decision with Gammastrike.
Yeah, that's just kidding, but thanks for that. But yeah, we are building a Pelosi tracker. That's what our site will devolve into. And
Are we?
when we blow up our Google or our Azure credits, we're just going to become a Pelosi tracker.
Maybe
Once we
that's
want to start spending $17 per click.
maybe that's what
on
happened to
ads.
all the other beautiful ideas that spawned data services. Their like cloud costs finally hit them in the face, and they were like, "Oh, fuck this! We're just gonna make some basic shit."
Yeah, we're just gonna pull filings that are 3 months old on Pelosi.
Hey
Love
guys, Pelosi entered this position sometime in the last 90 days, and then was 30 days late in reporting it.
But here you can get in on the ground floor.
But I mean, I have used it for
You,
other trades.
I'm assuming you have, yes. You don't have to.
I guess
I'm sorry
the
sorry to
problem
put
is-
you on the spot. It was a joke, but
Well, the other thing is like Trump's tariff shit really kind of fucked me in Feb or end of Feb, early March, like that span. So I guess I don't know if I didn't really look at Gammastrike at like during that period because my options were farther dated, but it was still what happened still was enough to like screw me for that. But I mean, I wouldn't say that's Gammastrike's fault. It's more like can't really do anything with a guy like Trump at the helm.
It does create quite a lot of volatility. Although I felt like Gammastrike really indicated that the market drop was coming really well. I was pretty certain we were gonna crash when we did.
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't following the streams
No.
at that time period, so like I wasn't privy to what you were saying, but I was just kind of looking at. I mean, I wasn't playing anything even shorter dated, but it was still enough of a movement to screw me out of any like long calls that I had.
That makes sense.
That was wild.
It was.
But remember, even like before the tariffs got officially announced and we just like plummeted, I mean, there was consistent selling for a long period before that. Someone big was just dumping relentlessly for like 2 weeks.
Cool. Well, once again, thanks, and I'll have
He's
some
just
questions.
like, please release me from this hell. What can I go tell with you? He's like, I'm done. Please stop talking to me.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem, man. Kirk's in and out eating his rare steak. So I guess we're just gonna hang out for a little bit. How was your day?
My day was extremely busy.
Oh, yeah, mine too. Actually crashed right before this. I had which tells me that I've
Trying to
been
find a
pushing myself
meme.
too
What
hard.
are you guys on about? Okay, that's enough.
We're just talking.
We got
Spicy's
people with their hands up.
well, Spicy's trapped. We can't control any of that.
Oh, is he stuck?
Yeah, you
No, I
have
can-
to let him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, oh, he just wanted to talk to us. That was cool. Well, all right.
Well, now I'm sad he's gone.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try to say your name. Altazaz. Altezas. Altazaz. Oh. He's
He
gone.
just left.
We'll never know. We'll never know. You put that nugget in my brain, and now I'll never know.
You butchered,
we'll never
you
see that
butchered their
person
name
again.
so much that they just left.
Now we'll literally, they'll never come back. We'll never know. They're literally gone, like from the chat.
They just ran away.
Aw. Does that seem like a place people go looking for gingers as much as it is a place for gingers looking for gingers? It is. Oh, wait. He's back.
He's here. How do you say your name?
Just goes to show I don't know what I'm doing.
Nice.
Altezas. Like Toyota Alteza.
Ah, all right.
Good
Nice.
evening, everybody, and
Hello.
it's fantastic what you guys have built. It's beautiful. It's intuitive, actionable, and anybody who's on the fence, jump in. It's awesome.
Wow. And just for the record, I didn't even know how to say this guy's name. Thank you. Those are kind words.
So, I've saved a couple of full ports, or like recovered actually, a couple of full ports since you guys released this, and it's been great. So my question is about the differences between the live data and the real-time data. And I'm seeing different values for delta flip, gamma flip, gex, as well as the volumes.
Yes, so there are a couple of things that we are working through. So essentially, the way that these are built is we take in the data directly from the opera feed. So we take every single trade from the opera feed and we categorize it. And then we have some, if if for whatever reason our service goes down or their service goes down, we have some backup services that we can spin up to capture anything that we missed when we come back. So we've got some redundancy and some backups built in. In terms of the differences between the two, there's a couple of things going on. So one thing that and this is a change that needs to be made that just I think wasn't flipped over to real time. So if you look at live data and you compare that to real time data, you'll notice on the why is this not showing up? Oh,
And
you'll
just,
notice on the real time data that the delta flip and gamma flip, there's a period on the real time data in pre-market when there's no price data where it's updating.
and just to be clear, mostly what I watch is the SPXW, and you know when I've been pulling it up since you guys released the real time data and comparing the two, like the gex values. So like on the real time data, the gex values will be higher and the volumes will be higher. Is there a reason for that
Yes.
specifically? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Is
the
it related
way
to
that
earlier and what you were talking about getting more data?
no, that's partially to do with the calculation speed. Like what we're adding. Hold on one second. I think someone's
Yeah, so I'll finish my train of thought before we answer that part of it. So so the reason that delta flip and gamma flip look a little bit different is because that pre-market information. So what's happening is in the pre-market, there are people trading contracts. So they start trading at about 8 a.m. Eastern, or we start seeing them show up at around 8 a.m. Eastern. But we don't have any price data yet because indexes are derived, right? So there's no one sending that data over the wire. So we're calculating delta flip and gamma flip in that pre-market time with the spot price from the day before. So if you have a day like today, where there was a huge gap between close yesterday and open today, you're going to have all of this waiting down below that then it takes a while to recover as there's huge volumes throughout the day that swamp out that original signal. So if you look at the live Greeks, that is much less pronounced. You'll notice that they all kind of end near the same place, but there's that effect that's dragging it down. So the solution there is ultimately the solution will be to either imply the spot price in a variety of ways, or just get a futures service, which we're looking into, but futures are extremely expensive data to get a hold of. So the short term is just to cut off the pre-market and not count those. So that has a change in terms of. Let me look at the volumes today to see. So now let's get to your volume question. So let's see, for example, 5600 has 32,802 on real time, and it has 12,692 on. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but the real time is the correct one.
Okay.
I'll have to talk to
there's
Nuke
also
about.
there's also a difference in how the data is handled and how the trades are handled, and the live data, you know, we were kind of buffering the trades, and so you're stacking the trades up and then running them through all at once with each update. Now they're just coming in the correct order as they come in. And so that does create some differences in the delta flip and gamma flip as well, because the order in which the trades are calculated is now the order in which they come in, and it's no longer being batched.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true as well. I'm gonna follow up on that just because I'll talk to Nuke and we'll figure out why those numbers are so different, because I'm sure there's an answer on the back end, but I would like to
And I've
understand it
noticed
so I
it
can.
for gex as well. The gex calculation Like the real-time data, similar to the volume, it's higher than the live data.
Yeah, well, anything that's so Gex is calculated based on volumes on each contract. So yes, that will, yeah. So yeah, there's all of that can be explained by the discrepancy in volume. So let me run that down, figure out why that is occurring.
Great.
Because let's see.
And like you know, especially Gherk has hammered on, and kudos to everybody again. The real-time data is fast as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, you didn't juice it yet, did you?
No. Just
Oh yeah, it's gonna get faster.
Yeah, our price updates.
Have any of you
price
guys?
updates are truly like amazing, though. I mean, we're faster than like paid
I've seen it show
CME data
faster
from.
than TradingView.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we did that
Watching
when
it
we
on
were
two
doing.
screens. Yep.
Yeah, we did the same thing when we were testing it. We'd put them next to each other, and we made sure that like our data was at least faster than TradingView. Yeah.
TradingView is like the gold standard, by the way. Like they're right there with IBKR and like shit like Sierra Trade and stuff. So yeah, we're a little faster. Probably a shorter pipe and way less overhead than they have.
Yeah, we're updating faster as well.
The last few days where Vol's been crazy, like last couple of weeks, we were like way faster than Webull.
I believe it.
We'd be like
Impressive.
fucking 10, 12 trades ahead of them. Thank you. Yeah, it is super impressive. And once again, Nuke's not here to hear us.
Hats off.
It's only going to get better from here. And that means all our models will be being fed data at that speed. So as we build you guys out more intraday tools, those are also going to be fast as fuck.
Yep.
Will we be able to buy hats?
Eventually.
When hat, Gherk, when hat.
Hey, listen.
You can't get one before me.
Our president just shut down the source of hats.
Shut down hats?
So if you guys,
I posted a meme for Nuke.
If you guys want me to ship you the hats, I need you to pay the tariff.
How about you ship them to me? I'll ship them.
They're in your apartment. What tariff?
I'm imposing a tariff.
How dare you?
No, we've got the hats I made kind of suck. So we've got to remake them. We want them to be stitched, not some like iron-on garbage. So it's
nice.
But we will have
so bad you wear them for 10 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still comfy hats. They're just like not like the styling is
You know what? I blame your mom. I blame your mom for not shipping them when she was over there. She had literally one job.
It's fair. I want to pick.
What do I call you? If I ever meet your mom, what do I call her, Miss Gherkin?
You could just call her Gherk's mom.
Okay, I will.
Gherkin's mom has got it going on.
Oh boy.
How old are you when that
Gherkin,
song came
do
out?
you remember when I mowed your lawn?
Like the original version of that song, or the?
But wasn't that Cheap Trick who came out with that? No, who was it?
Fountains of Wayne.
Thank you. That song was right before my time. I loved it
because it was his favorite band.
Of course. I mean, hot rock boy band that doesn't exist anymore.
2003, or were you like 8 years old?
No, I was 9 years old.
All right, there you go.
I wasn't.
It's a great song though. The chorus is really good. Like the inversions in it are really good.
Well, when you meet someone like Stacy's mom, you got to write a banging song about her.
I mean, it's true, especially when she came out with nothing but a towel on. Towel on.
I like how you know more of the words than I do. All right.
It's because we had a friend in high school who had a really hot mom, and so we'd sing it to him.
Oh my god.
Gross.
Have you guys ever considered that Jackson in the Discord is the lead singer of Fountains of Wayne?
Whatever.
Oh.
Present your evidence.
I don't have any.
I thought he was Justin Timberlake.
Nah. Too sober.
Ouch.
Carl's like 13. They get
Can I ask
married
one
young.
more
Carl's
They
like a
get married
child.
young in the Midwest.
One more question for Dork, if I could.
Oh yeah.
For me?
How many pork chops can you fit in your Mazda?
That's actually a really good question, and it definitely depends. Okay, am I going to or coming
Is it a
from the grocery
hatchback?
store?
You know, I mean, coming back from.
Okay, I drive a sedan, so if we fill the
Don't call
trunk
that thing a
Do
sedan.
the back
and
seats
the back
fold down?
seats,
Okay.
they do. But
Okay.
but that's not that. But folding the back seats actually reduces the total number of pork chops you could fit in there, because you lose a lot of stacking capability from the seats and the seat belts. So
Interesting.
Are you
rough
building like
guesstimate,
pork?
I could.
Wait, hold on. Are you like building like pork people and strapping them
Well, that's
into
how you drive in
back of
carpool,
your
dude. Whenever I go to
Mazda?
California, yeah, I just make a pork chop person and use that for my carpool.
Well, now we know what stream card we need. Dork and his pork person
His pork person.
driving through the Donner Pass.
Rough estimate, I'm thinking I could probably fit about 345 pounds of pork chops in my car.
Okay, but you have to quote that in units of Gherk's freezer or units of meth bus.
Probably, so like it'd be about 0.8 Gherk freezers. I don't know. How many bodies can you fit in there, Gherk? I'm much better with human body comparisons.
I've never put a body in my freezer.
Well, what's the most bodies you've stuck
All
in
right,
there at one
you
time?
heard it. You heard it. He confirmed it. He has somebody else put the bodies in his freezer.
There's just fuck you guys.
That was a good question.
I was.
I've never actually thought about like the limits of pork chop like capacity in my car before.
I like this guy.
Capacity.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
Thanks for coming out, man. We appreciate the
Thanks, bud.
questions and the shilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how it's done, guys. People have been around for forever.
That's some top tier question asking, guys. Come on, step up your game.
Yeah. Where are the rest of the questions like this? And just the
Wait, wasn't
unabashed,
Windmill Willie gonna ask a
shameless
question?
shilling.
Windmill Willie
He
wanted to
needed,
do a
like,
deep dive on something.
10 minutes. I think he's like writing us a novel.
Yeah, he said 10 minutes, and that was like 30 minutes ago.
Willie.
Well,
Yeah.
As far as intraday trading short-term options, is there a benefit to looking at SPX real-time data, or stick with SPX W real-time data? Ooh, 1 day a month, it's worth looking at the SPX real-time data.
Nice.
The day before the AM contract expires.
yeah, those contracts tend to be very long. Like when people enter those positions, it's over a long time frame. So
Yeah, they
reason-
get huge swaths of volume all at once, but they don't get a lot of regular volume.
yeah, the primary reason we include it is just because we get it for free anyway, because it comes through it comes through the same stream as SPXW already, so.
Yeah, we should really
And
combine those two. But
well, eventually we are going to start combining tickers together in an interesting way. I mean, that's the
yeah.
next step, right? Once we get the bandwidth to do more tickers, more expiries, then we
Are we gonna
start
make our
back.
own indexes?
Yeah.
Ooh. Ah, nice.
We're going to make our own ETFs eventually, right? So I mean, indexes. I mean,
That's
it's
true.
it's the natural progression.
Oh, here comes Willie. All right. Well, Alteza, thank you so much, man.
Wait a second.
What?
Just I'm looking at the chat, and it looks like I might have a job.
Oh shit.
I don't.
Woo!
Before door.
Congratulations.
That's what it says.
Yeah. Yeah, Carl's.
Have a good night, guys.
Later, man.
Willie.
Microphone check. 1 2 1 2.
What's up, Willie?
I don't hear you.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
Not much.
How you doing?
Okay, just trying to make a living in this godforsaken town.
I feel it.
Yeah, totally. Let's see, where was I? I was all fired up about this. I had some work stuff to get off my ass there.
I don't know why, but when you said that, the song "Pink Pony Club" just came into my head, and now I'm imagining you dancing at the Pink Pony Club.
It either sounds hot or disturbing. I'm not sure which.
Yeah,
Probably disturbing.
That's that song in a nutshell, though. Kids love singing it, so I'm gonna go with disturbing.
Well, my kids are out of the phase of singing kids songs. So, let's see. Okay, so I'm looking at a couple just quick questions. Here's a big one: when replay? When rewind? When? Hey, let me go back to noon today and play the market.
How many times have we had this conversation, Willie?
About replay?
Yeah.
Not at all. We've been talking. I've been bothering you about someone else's feature I want you to steal and do better.
That's true. No, I don't. I will say this, and I'll let Doric and Jay first go, but I don't see the value in going back in time and looking at what the market used to look like.
Well, think of it as not what the market looked like. Think of it as what your tool was saying about the market while it was doing what it was doing.
I know.
And seeing that.
I know, but my tools, all my tools are built to tell you what the market looks like right now.
Sure.
Which is far more important.
But if you get it wrong,
the evolution.
You go back and see what you maybe missed. That could be valuable, I think. I know it's valuable for me in other places.
So by replay, what do you mean?
What the hell happened there? Like
he just wants to be able to rewind and play the day.
But like I mean, we're talking about gigabytes of trade flows to replay.
What kind of look back period are you looking at?
Not more than a day. Like today. You know, and I mean, sure, if it's a space and time and data,
I mean, we could just do it as a snapshot. We don't have to. We don't have to record the time and sales for the entirety of the day. We could just do a snapshot at each minute interval and then let people replay them.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think you have to literally capture the market. I think you just have to capture the image. I mean, I sometimes sit here and just.
Koopy wants you to know you can just take a screenshot at the end of the day.
No, sometimes I sit here and let a screen record run for hours.
That's actually less data than a replay would be, by far.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Just to see.
Yeah, we don't have to do it. We don't have to.
I really
do
got
it
it wrong
tick
at 3:30. What? I'm not sure that it's as challenging as it initially sounds like. It's.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's ways to make it less data intensive. That's not the issue. The issue, the biggest issue I have with it, which is kind of what I was trying to say, is that it introduces a bias to your trading that shouldn't be there. But I get where you're coming from and wanting to review prior analytical missteps. That
Exactly.
I do agree has some value. But
Okay.
I still worry that people are going to use it for the thing they shouldn't use it for, which is really bad bias confirmation.
Confirming their own. Yeah, no, I get it, but I mean, I don't know that you can stop people from doing dumb things. They're gonna be just as biased
we
in real
can't.
time as they are. If they're biased, they're gonna be biased. Anyway, yeah. So I think about it. I think it would be helpful. Other services do it, and I find it helpful in the other ones that I use. And again, not being biased or confirming, trying to find some way to have been right when you were clearly wrong.
Mm.
But going back and find out maybe what you missed that would have prevented you from being wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So that kind of goes with my next sort of mechanical question. Down on the lower two charts on the live data page, obviously right now it's not populating because it's not ours, but those two, the lower left, lower right, you've already covered, even live during the day sometimes, the difference between gamma and gamma exposure. I think that's good. I'm hoping people are grasping that. The gamma value and the actual exposure the dealer complex is experiencing at that level are different things, and I'm glad you highlight those.
Yeah, same.
Over on the right, lower right side, you can turn off calls, you can turn off puts. Is there a need for or ever going to be a net button on that one? For times when you're not so concerned with puts and calls and you kind of have in your
net volume.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, is that what that is? Is strictly volume?
Yeah, this is just volume.
That's 0 DTE volume.
Yep. Yeah, we could.
This combination.
Yeah, I mean, if you accept the the notion that a sold put and a bought call are more or less the same thing.
Okay, I will say though, just bear with us a little bit. We are working on a tool here that I think it'll make sense. I think you are going. So when you combine, if you think about it, just think about this from a data perspective. Amount of the volume of puts and the volume of calls is two pieces of data, right? And the net is one piece of data. So you're condensing the information that's being displayed. You're compressing it, and you're losing something in that process. And I would argue that what you're losing is fundamental and vital. So, and that will be made more apparent once we rework this tool.
Okay.
So I would say for now, I would hesitate to say that because this tool is not distinguishing between a bought or sold, you can't say, for example, that you can't say that a put and a call are equivalent and cancel each other out.
Well, not a put and a call, but a sold put versus a bought call and a bought put versus a sold call.
Yeah, it's just really difficult to figure out bought and sold.
And so, of course, obviously that's the magic voodoo that we'll never really know unless suddenly we all become brokers. But, and I get that, and I think everybody else gets that you'll never really know.
Actually, who does have
choose your best analytical guess provided by your favorite provider, I guess. But I get what you're saying, and I'm not coming from a place of like I have to have that, because frankly, when I look at it, I hesitate to look at things net. But I guess what I'm asking is there a value to it? And you said you don't value to it, or there's a better tool that'll handle that.
Yeah,
I feel like when
there
I'm
is
just
a better
looking at
tool.
puts and calls, I am getting biased. You know what I mean? I'm like, sure, there's a shitload of calls. Like looking right now at that 650 bar, oh my God, there's so many calls. But you got to dig further in what's the nature of those calls. They bought or they sold. Did IV go sky high when they arrived? Did IV drop?
Yeah, so the
And the tool we're building will help you parse all
Okay.
of that a little bit better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe as I look at it and I think about net and try to put it out of my mind, what I'm really sort of longing for is I'm already asking the question that you're going to answer with the next version of the tool.
I think we might be answering your question for you. I mean, I would agree in
okay.
general. I mean, the bottom right tool it needs work, and we're currently giving it a lot of attention and love.
Right on.
So if you find it to be frustrating or to leave you lacking in general, that's a feeling that's shared with many people, and we're
Okay. Well, and then that takes me to the third spot. And the thing I'm always bothering Gherk about. Part of the value of this tool isn't on the screen at all. And fortunately or unfortunately for me, because I can't listen to the stream 100% of the time, the kind of knock-on value to the tool is the guy sitting in the apartment in New York with tools we can't see saying, oh, bot calls coming in at 650. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that put's just closed. 40, whatever. And when that happens, I find myself immediately searching this page for what tells me that. Did the IV drop? Did the volume increase?
a lot. Yeah,
right.
A lot of
trying
that.
to
A lot of
find
that.
the answer, and I can't find it.
A lot of it is in the bottom two tools, but you have to be. And somebody else brought this up earlier. You have to watch things that are going on in the bottom left chart and correlate those to things that are going on in the bottom right chart very quickly.
Exactly.
Also, the information that's being presented in each chart is not optimized. So things, like IV is not. It's hard to see changes in IV because it's squished, and there's a lot of issues there. And so what we're trying to do right now is make it so that process is streamlined, so you can just look in one spot and say, oh, in the last few minutes, IV at this strike has dropped, and most of the activity at that strike was calls. Therefore, those must be sold calls at that strike. That's what we're trying to build right now.
Okay.
So
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so that people can start to do that on their own with a little bit less. It's right now. It's like the amount of reading that has to go on is a little bit like watching the green symbols in the Matrix kind of thing. It's like you have to just feel it almost, because it's so
Right.
hard with your eye having to jump around and your brain having to process this information so quickly that we want to make that process easier, and we're doing that.
Yeah, and also
Okay,
when I make those like bot sold call outs on stream, remember that's all interpretive, even if it's right.
Well, of course. Well, everyone knows. I think everyone by now understands that there is no absolute way, short of broker.
Yeah, well, not even
know
there,
that for
right?
sure.
Yeah, I mean, even they have to fill in gaps. Like maybe the clearinghouse
Right.
has perfect insight, but they don't care, so they're not even taking advantage of it.
No. and you're, in contrasting it with what they're, I think you guys and two other providers are the three in this space that are doing the best work. And you know who they are, and you know why I am related to whom and how. I'm not going to say other people's names on your stream, but you know who it is.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And everybody's doing their level best to do this right. I don't think any of those three are trying to rip me off. All the rest, fuck them. I'm not interested in what they're trying to sell. And believe me, I've tried them all.
I know you have.
And what I can say, and it kind of maybe dovetails back a little bit with the replay thing, is in one particular case, like that information, like you said, your best interpretive measure of, I think those are bought or I think those are sold, based on the tools, the processes you've built, and however it's presenting it in front of you at the back end part that we can't see.
Well, I mean, sometimes I'm just doing that with the same shit you guys have.
Well, sure, and we'll have a better ability to do that on our own. Being taught to fish, not so much fed the fish.
Yeah.
When, like you say, like Jay was saying, the next what you envision as your next round of that comes along, and that's great to know, because I
Yeah.
think that's my biggest struggle is there's so that we don't go out with our much more naive interpretation of things and take exactly the wrong position. I'm going to buy these. Oh shit, somebody just sold 500 of them.
Yep. So really
That
really key, and I don't have this either yet, but a really key part of doing that and giving you guys that kind of data that can be interpreted easily is performing our calculations in as close to real time as we can. Because
Yeah.
it's not just the time in sales. There's like a whole fuck ton of math that needs to be done behind the scenes. And that needs to hit.
cue the Nuke Appreciation Club.
Yeah,
Song.
And so
Yeah.
as we get those pipelines in order, we've got that super high speed pricing, and now we're gonna have really, really fast calculations on top of it. I mean, we're scaling up the. I know this sounds like Jensen, but like we're scaling up the speed of those calculations like 15x.
Right. Are you holding up a giant platter as a shield right now?
I just have a little robot next to me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what's that noise?
Holding it up to the spotlight.
Don't worry about it.
It's like a slurping. Yeah.
But those real-time calcs are going to be huge because in intraday trading on SPX very frequently, and I'm getting my calculations even on like back-end data sets and stuff that I have that isn't like stuff that you guys have, right? Even on that, my calculations are 3 to 5 seconds behind. And like you might get bot calls out of the money and then they immediately close, and by the time I get an update they're gone, and I'm like, oh
exactly,
fuck, like I just saw like 30,000 calls roll in and now they're all gone.
Well, it's funny, as a side story, do you remember that 170,000 contract fat fingered order from a couple months back?
Yep. Never
where
that
where in another community or two that I'm in that you know about.
Yeah.
Like we launched into like a full-scale investigation. Who sees this on your broker? Who sees this on your other Gamma service? And like across 5 Gamma services and 5 brokers, 2 places that appeared coming out of your mouth from your tools, and a self-built internal tool from a guy in another community that's clearly a professional and needed to redact all the names of the organizations that were embedded in the screenshot he was showing. And was at the same time, I was like, oh my god, what was that order?
I know it popped up on
be in a room with that guy when that happened and listening to you at the same time, and both things happened at the same time. Nobody else saw that anywhere, not on any broker, not any so clearly the fire hose that you're getting, you're clearly picking the gems out of the fire hose in a way that I can only say equivalent to some internal professional tool was doing somewhere. That this guy was like, oh shit, what was that order? And right at the same time,
we're taking
oh, shit, what was that order?
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing our data model, our data pipeline and models are well above what most pod shops have.
Oh, sure.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking. So here's the. So just about every like retail service there, they have a bunch of middlemen embedded into their pipeline, right? So there's the fundamental trade, the trade information that's coming direct from the exchanges, that then's going through a series of middlemen to get to an API that you can call on the back end. And a lot of these places, some of them will just put the API calls on the client side, right? And they don't even do any internal calculations like the client
they ship it to you and let you do the work.
And so all of the data, like the Greek data and everything we're showing you, has to be derived from that time and sales trade data, and none of them are doing that, and we're doing all of that ourselves from the raw data line. And so we're not going to, if it showed up in the time and sales at any point, pre-market, during market, after market, whenever, we will find it and we will process it and we will display it. So
Yeah, no, I get it. You guys are you have the material in the lathe
Yeah.
and are machining it, and the other folks are receiving it pre-machined with a bunch of questionable who knows how that was done in the middle.
Here's
I get
something
it.
fun I've done because we calculate our own IBs instead of using the ones given to us. Is like sometimes I'll notice that an out of the money contract's IV is like on my broker is like 20% higher than what we're calculating it at. And maybe I'll sell that option
Right, sure.
with a
Your
20% take
perhaps
profit.
your broker for some reason. No, I sure take advantage of that one. But I'll steer this back around to my point about the feature I'm always bothering Gherk about. Or in two ways. I find that when I have to like dip out for a half hour for whatever and come back and understand what's happened in my positions, where's the market, what's going on. In one particular place, I do step back 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes and just get a view. What are the numbers here? And how did it change? And then how did it change again? And I feel like I'm better informed of, what's led to what I'm seeing on the screen right now when I come back in. Or, just come back to paying attention to this from paying attention to something else. I imagine, people that are like trading futures in the slow times, well, keeping an eye on contracts from earlier in the day or position for later in the day or tomorrow or the next week or whatever, experience the same thing of like, I can't keep 6 eyeballs on 6 things at once.
Eric, I think we have a
so there's
new.
a,
I was gonna
go
say,
ahead.
I think we have a new goal. We got to get Windmill Willie on one service.
Oh yeah,
well,
absolutely.
There you go. there is a noble goal, so that's number one. And number two, we've talked about how one place in particular kind of foregoes all of that. What's that company called? Paragon? What are they called?
Polygon?
Yeah, whatever. And that whole ilk.
Yeah.
Those of that ilk, right?
Suck.
And just went out and bought the $80,000 a month every 10-minute report.
Yeah.
And run it through whatever their analysis is and whatever their calculation is, and present it to you broken down by the 5 buckets of type that they break it down as, and refresh it every 10 minutes because they only get the report every 10 minutes. Okay, fine. And that's missing a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff happens from minute 2 to minute 9.
Yeah.
I have heard a counter argument given to me by someone else was like, well, if you think about it this way, they are filtering out all of the like dealer on dealer lifting and violence and backs and forths and momentary hedges that get immediately sold back out or whatever. And yeah, they're kind of giving you an every 10-minute, like, reasonable view of what just went on after the punches are thrown and the various players are thrown over the ropes out of the ring or whatever.
I would rather, I know the report you're referring to. I would rather we build that report and make our own report.
And you have the materials to build it.
We do, yeah.
Because you've done the hard work of like, just send me the fire hose of data and we'll figure it out from there. Yep. And that's super admirable. I feel like that will be more valuable in the long run. That's where you'll put distance between you and other services very quickly, because they'll never scale up to that if they're not already trying to, So, but that data getting presented to me in a manner that's similar to what I hear on the stream, I can see right there, oh, this 58.85 was minus 450 puts and plus 1270 calls, and it just leapt up to like 1226, plus 2600 calls. And I know something happened there, and I see it in numbers, and I can go further, and I immediately go from that place to your chart and like, did IV go up? Did volume go down? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Did that get closer to the delta flip? Was that the delta flip, that number where all those calls came? Like, so I think there's a value to that in some day where you've already got the data, you're already doing the calculation. Perhaps some future, there is a sort of a spreadsheet-esque presentation. Maybe not every minute. Maybe it's an every 5-minute thing, and it's more of a, designed for more of a 30,000-foot view than a right down there in the moment by moment battle. I think that would be super valuable, and I feel like you've already got the data, you've already got the calculations. It's just a presentation question. It's like an alternate page that presents numbers in a different way than lines and candle bars stuff. So that's what I wanted to put out there and bring those two things together. Being able to step back a little bit and see what I missed, and being able to see it in more of a numeric stacked fashion at times, not all the time, but at times, or as a choice.
Yeah, this is good feedback. We'll talk about it because
It's a nugget I find I rely on. Is it helping me trade? I don't know. I'm not rich yet, but I'm trying. I feel like I would have a harder time without it. So
yeah, that's fair.
And I just think that the simply presenting the data in that form might be an option, and it seems like just interface drudgery. Who's going to design a bunch of cells and how they scale and how they do they have kind of a heat map overlay of this strike is super active, the strike isn't,
Yeah, I think what might be helpful. Maybe I'll ping you offline at some point when I have some bandwidth.
Anytime.
But trying to figure out what it is you're gathering from that information, so that we can consider that there might be an even better way to present that data. And once I get a better understanding of what it is that you are trying to extract.
I'd be happy to. We can one-on-one that anytime you want.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, obviously, yeah, when everybody has some bandwidth, because
our tasks list keeps getting longer somehow. So, but yeah,
the feature requests grow to slightly overfill the personnel available.
Oh yeah, for sure. We are definitely personnel.
Part of my work has me consulting on and beta testing some pretty complicated software in my business, and I don't write it. I have very minimal software construction, but an understanding of what goes, and yeah, I just think that, like, you guys have got the underlying raw minerals. And I think there's one more fashion in which you could present it that might be helpful.
Gross
time allows
spreadsheet.
to
All
build
right.
the interface to it.
We're definitely starting to get into that transition period of once we have all the pipes in place. I was going to say earlier though that yes, Nuke has done an absolutely fabulous job. 10x engineer for sure. One of the hardest working, most capable engineers I've ever worked with. But we still have a lot to do. So like right now we're able to, once this update goes through, I think next week we're going to be updating the real-time data page at 1 second intervals.
That sounds, I am super excited to do that.
And you think about, to get to that point, I mean, we had to juice everything by quite a bit. And just being able to do all those calculations, or just to give you an idea, doing the calculations to display for just SPXW for the 0 DTE contracts is about 40 milliseconds. And we want to be able ultimately to provide 1 second updates for pretty much every contract on the market. So we still have
so you're not setting any lofty goals or anything.
No.
We still have like
No, not at all.
1,000x that we have to go through, and we're already going to have to start thinking about, parallel infrastructure. We're going to have to get NVIDIA on the phone to get that shield with the chips on it.
Well, if you could just go to your local pizza place, right, and steal like the 16-inch pizza plate, the aluminum platter, and then just paint, what looks like complicated chips and circuitry on it, and hold that up.
Yeah, we got to get the shiny chrome paint.
I'm
Right,
just gonna
yeah.
get a trash can lid and slap a suction dildo on it. That'll be our first shareholders meeting.
There you go. That'll set the tone. Okay. Yeah. My only last thing is like a noodly React thing of like, is it possible to tune the interface a little bit so we can see both charts together in one fucking browser window? I spend just about all my time with some nonsensical zoom setting in a browser window. And, you know, most everybody these days, all their extra screens are 1920 by 1080. I'm here to tell you. Everybody may have their big, fancy, amazing. I have my gigantic 39-inch curved monster in front of me, but all the extras are just a bunch of 1920 by 1080s thrown up all around me. And it just doesn't quite fit. And I think we ought to. Somebody
that's
should
what she
set
said.
a 1920 by 1080 square that scales correctly.
Oh man,
And
Wendell,
somehow
if
get
only
all that
somebody
stuff
said this last week. Holy crap.
We were working on it. I don't think so.
Okay, all right. I know it's difficult
we know
because it's got to
we know
scale
it's-
to
I
nonsensical
made a
ways, but-
design
It's just a
rule
lot of
that there
stuff.
were to be no scroll bars, and there's a scroll bar, so I know how you feel.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
here's the other
yeah.
issue in mail that we're having to balance is that the aspect ratio is really important, and if we
It
just start
is-
stacking charts, then you get this really squished
Well,
data
sure,
and it
yeah,
all
you
looks
get a
flat.
bizarre
So
look.
that's the dance we're playing. But yeah, we're trying to get it all on one page.
I do
Obviously,
spend most of my time with about the top 25 or 30% scrolled up, so I can see the two charts on the bottom, and then I just drag the candle chart down into like its lower quadrant of its space. And
My solution has been to do the same thing where I can see the flips, and then
right, yeah,
but I don't need to see the fucking bottom of the bottom chart.
No, yeah, sure. I just want to see the updated time. Like what you're doing right there is exactly what I do. But notice how you still can't see the bottom of the two bottom charts.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to see those because I know where the price is and what the strikes are next to me.
Well, and during the day, obviously, IV and Gamma and GEX are not like bottomed.
Yeah.
This is an actively.
But the strike numbers disappear, and then it gets to be this like, oh god, I got to go to hover and look.
This issue is being actively worked on right now.
Okay, I figured it would be annoying somebody other than just me.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing. I'm constantly scrolling on this. I mean, I'm always making sure that my mouse is right on the right hand side, but not over the scroll.
Oh, and that reminds me. Will it? I don't think it's possible to really do it now. There's no data, but being able to widen and narrow the strike range for the bottom left and bottom right, I would like that sometimes.
That's also on the list. Yeah. What we're considering doing is linking the top. Well, you'll see. We're
okay. Sure.
We're working on it.
I know that's all like drudgery and React and stuff.
We're really good at putting models together and creating data. We're just really bad at getting it up in front of people.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's not easy. You don't have a consistent canvas. You don't know what size people's browsers are. You don't know what constraint the 4 or 5 most popular browsers are putting on them. A lot of the work I do is around a big piece of software that's written in X Windows, and talk about, nightmarish. Yeah.
Gross.
So yeah, it's still out there. So I get it. Anyway, that's what I got. I absolutely dig the selection of strikes or selection of popular tickers at the top to look at in real time. I actually made some money on Tesla contracts using that. That was cool because I don't know that I've ever made money on Tesla until it's kind of my white whale in terms of options.
Someone asks, does this service cover flex options and OTC options chain data? No.
Yeah, that's a space that people with different kinds of access are into.
Yeah, that's a space you're not getting on the retail side.
No.
Yeah, sorry, MicroStrategy chat live.
Without an ISDA.
I might know who asked that question. Anyway,
MicroStrategy chat live.
MicroStrategy chat live.
I don't have the chat open.
I just thought it was
Anyway,
ironic.
that's what I got, y'all. And
Thank you.
Yeah. And
Or I'm sorry for your
hit me up
loss.
offline and we'll talk. Who's lost? Who lost what?
Oh, I was just saying. I was like, thank you, or I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to read that. I'm sorry all that happened. Whichever's appropriate, right?
You're
All right.
fine.
I know you guys like to stay late, but I'm gonna have to peel away. So I'll
Well, I'm going to how do I show myself out here?
I can get you, Willie.
Okay, thanks. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
You buy my mug first, and then you get to leave.
First, you buy my trading course, and then you.
Yes. After 3 classes, I let you leave.
Right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Later, man.
Thank you, Willie. Yeah, I kind of
Alright,
want to start winding down too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pop off too. My house is gonna explode here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want any more information about Gammastrike, you can visit the website at app.gammastrike.com. The documentation is all available there, free, for you guys to peruse through if you're interested in the service. And we will be here every week for the foreseeable future to answer any questions you might have about the service. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you for the questions. I will see you all next week. Later.
See ya.
Peace.